Thanks for coming over today. We're in the kitchen, and this kitchen is somewhat coordinated in that it's very neutral. And I do have some primary colors and some antiques and some vintage. Of course, this is not vintage, but I have some pink. I do have some yellow, and I have some red on my table. And if you go over here, you can see that I have a little step stool and a couple of old aprons. This one belonged to my mom. I don't know where this came from, but I think my mom gave it to me. She wouldn't wear anything like that, but she handed it down to me. She may have gotten it at a thrift shop. So let's see if we can take a common theme and coordinate some of these things. Oh, let me go into this. I'm not going to coordinate this. You can see that I made the mistake of actually using this side as the cutting. Now I use the back side for cutting, and it's quite old. It actually was given to me when I was a girl by one of my mother's close friends who we used to consider an aunt. Auntie Teresa, she gave me that cutting board, and I made the mistake of cutting on it for years, and then I stopped cutting on it because I said, hey, this was given to me and made by my Auntie Teresa. This one I actually got at some used place, and I do not use it for cutting. It is beautifully old, and I love the way it looks. But I was going to just take and decorate the handle. I forgot to say that there's another cutting board, and it's in here. So this one is sometimes used. There's a crumb. We don't need the crumb, but that's nicely out of the way. Yeah. My rolling pin I have had since I was a girl and cooking on my own. So let's paint these handles, and these are not old, but let's decorate the tips so that they match. And I don't mean with all the same color; that would make me crazy. So we won't do that, but we will add the colors in my kitchen. This is something that I've had for years, and I used to have a black kitty. I had two black kitties actually. This is just a piece of wood. It's walnut, unfinished, and it has some wax on it. And I use it on my stove just as an extra place to put things. It's nothing fancy. It's just a good piece of walnut. One of my kids, I don't remember who, made this potato paper mache in school, and so I've had that for 100 years. And this is just a little vase of flowers that I like to keep there. So yeah, and these are this is a little section that has a lot of black things and things that used to belong to Colin, and so I keep them here on the window, and those will stay the same. I like the tollware, and I have some of these that are really old, and I never touch those. These, of course, will all remain the same. I won't touch anything there, and this is beautifully old and worn. Um, so there's that. I also have this cutting board, but it became a little bit too stained, and so I painted the top of it. So yeah, you can see that I have green, I have red, and I have yellow, and of course there's quite a bit of pink. I don't really worry about mixing and matching the colors because I think old homes, and this is really old. Well, the kitchen was built in 1910. Before that, the house didn't have a kitchen. They had summer kitchens, and they cooked on the stove in the main room. So this house was built in either 1847 or 1857. I've seen it both ways. Um, so yeah, I hope you'll hang around and see what we can do. I like to leave most of the wood, of course, unpainted. So, but let's decorate parts of these and see if we can't pull it together. First, let's start off with some tea. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape off where I don't want any paint. I'm just going to go down a little bit on the tip. And this is just masking tape. It's a very inexpensive tape. And it's not going to lay correctly because it goes around a curve. Let me bring it down. I forgot to mention another color that I really like, and that's aqua or turquoise. We see this in my home where the kids grew up and we lived forever and ever. Because this is kind of a new house to me. This is my I moved here after I retired up in Massachusetts. I moved here, which is not Massachusetts, and bought a different house. So, and in that house, I don't know if I can dig up some pictures. I will try to. I had mostly turquoise as my background accent color. My house wasn't painted turquoise, except in the end, we decided to paint the kitchen turquoise. And I think that's not even. And it was gorgeous. We made a faux wainscot in the kitchen and painted the window frames as well so that everything was uniform, and it was so pretty. There were cherry cabinets, um, and the deep warmth in the cherry went so well with the turquoise. And the color was a Benjamin Moore. It was called White Blue. Ben Moore still has that color, but it didn't look blue. It was very historic color, and I think I want to say it either came from the Williamsburg collection or um, I forget all the names. I want to say it was historic Williamsburg, but I might be wrong. I'm just trying to get this higher so that I can. But it was really very pretty. But I'm just going to cover this end of this rolling pin just so that I don't bump into it, and I'll do that off camera. Let's sip our tea. It's a dry stick. I don't throw them away. I let them dry and I use them to stir up something else. It dries. I really don't need to put clear coat on the whole end, but I just mainly want to do the tape. But this will dry. It'll dry very fast. And this just helps bleed through. If it did bleed through, I could just sand it off, but why not do it the easy way and do it so that it doesn't bleed through at all? That'll save us some work. And that's economical too, right? There you go. Just a thin, thin, thin coat. There. I don't really need to do it to the rolling pin, but you know what? I think I will. And I'm only going to do one end of the rolling pin. Does that sound crazy? I'm not going to do both ends because the other end, I don't have a side to side hanger. It sits, upside down. It sits like this. So I don't want to have to bump into it. So I just wanted to say also, all of these things that we're decorating, the way we decorate it, which means, let me take this off. The way we're decorating it, with a clear coat and some acrylic paint, if someone wanted to take it off down the line, it'll be very, very easy, So there's that, in case someone wants to go back to the raw wood. This will make it easy to do. But it's like it's as temporary as you want it to be. You know, we can put a clear coat over it and we'll help at least take some abuse. Right. That. And then you can see this. You see this one? I'm using primary colors here, and there's my turquoise that I'm going to use. I just need just a little bit of that, and I'm going to realize once I start painting how translucent this yellow is. Now I know that it's translucent, but I always underestimate how it's going to go on, I think. And what I should have done, or what you would do if you wanted to make it easier and get a better surface, is to actually put a primer underneath it. Now, I don't mean that you need to do a bonding primer or anything like that, just a white or a very opaque color. So I could have used like a raw sienna even, but I didn't really want to waste the paint. And I'm using the same brush each time I switch colors, but I will wash it off in the water. And I make sure that it's nice and clean so I'm not contaminating the other colors. And the red is actually two reds mixed together. And I apologize, some of the recording here I'm actually out of the frame, so but I love this red. It's very rich and it's just the opposite of the yellow. I only had to do 2 coats of the red, and with the yellow I ended up doing like 3 or 4 coats of the yellow, and I could have done more. Yeah. I didn't show it, but my brush is rinsed out. So here I'm mixing up this primary green with the yellow and a little bit of black because I want it to be just more of an olive color. I'm going to finish off by covering it with a little bit of clear coat, and then I will remove those tapes right away. Well, now it's more colorful, right? Very cute. I didn't end up doing a green stripe with this. I just did just a little bit of yellow, and it does pick up the yellow in the pot holders and the towels. Very cute. A new towel in the crock. I just have to make sure it doesn't get close to the stove, actually. But it's cute. And then there's the spoon holder, and I just placed this on it just so you can see it. Yeah, so cute. Just a few cute things. We did a little bow on this. Bye, come back soon. Take care.